Well then, that was different at the end there.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Means they've all gone to get their own buckets. Hello. Figurine Finders Committee meeting today in the meeting room.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
We'd better go there then.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
That was not the direction I originally wanted to head, but yes. Warehouse access plan. Produce one plaque to allow ease of access past fence. Construct a bridge to allow collection of shiny floating thing. Retrieve precious remains from warehouse floor. Construct new structurally sound bridge. We need more plaques. Okay. So, this is the one in the bathroom that it looks like I've already gotten. This is somewhere in the boss's office, presumably. It's the only place I know that has a fireplace. And some vents as well. Here we have the red and blue doors room. This is the door on the right that never opened before. It looks like now it might do. Something under the stairs where you walk up to the boss's office. You can go down. There's the red flashing light. That looks like over there. And this, what the heck is this one? Not sure what that one is. That could be the adventure line. But I don't recognise anything else about this drawing. Okay, this looks like more hints. Instead of a sequel exhibit, yep, that's the first one. The bathroom, we've done that. Somewhere with the blue doors, yes, got that one. Fireplace, yep, got that one. A large room with lots of boxes. That is... I think I have maybe a bit more of an idea what that is now. If that's the adventure line, it does go through a couple of rooms with lots of boxes. Ideas, building a bridge, selling them. How do they float? That is a very good question. Maybe we are the collectibles. Bottom text. Curious. Well, the stairs one seems like it could be fairly easily acquirable from here. Fireplace, maybe. But the stairs are right here.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Hello.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
And then the only fireplace I know of is this one right here.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, Did the bucket's warmth... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Amazing.
Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Aha!
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think,
Figlies?
Stanley? What
Figlies?
name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Okay, alright. Well, there's that. I guess we'll just go down again then. I guess we'll just go back up again then.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing. Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. After taking some time to show the bucket around the boss's office, Stanley at last went to the keypad, where he began eagerly pressing the number 3 again and again.
It is a very nice looking number 3. I've seen much worse typefaces in which to write the number 3. About the number 8.
8.
8. 8. No, nothing. Alright then. Let's go back down.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. A hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should he demonstrate the number 3 for the bucket again?
Don't see what the problem with that would be.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing. Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
I don't think the bucket cares too much about the number 3. don't think the bucket would care too much about any number,
Stanley
really.
and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be? "Ah," said Stanley. "I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart." He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
I'm disappointed
This was
these
it.
numbers don't all say
One
3.
last chance to win the
But
bucket
this all
over.
says 3.
One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
3 again, 3 again. 3, 3, 3. Is this the Stanley Parable 3 now? I mean, what's going on here?
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
3.